This is Brother Jamal. I'm coming to you on my YouTube channel. So if you would like to make any comments, leave some remarks, or even ask me any questions, please do so. Inshallah, we'll try to get back and deal with the questions, comments, or whatever you may have. I mean, you may say, we'll do that. Um, I'm coming to you on my YouTube channel, as I said, to just talk about briefly just a few things. And my theme is maintaining justice. Once again, we're required, Allah commands us that if we are to maintain justice, we have to make sure we maintain justice by always showing in fairness when we rule between people, fairness, maintaining justice. That's important. And so we know that in the beginning of this, if we go back to 1619, if we go back to the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century, our people were kidnapped from another part of the world, brought here, put in bondage, and then they created a law called segregation, which simply meant that one race was superior, another race was inferior. And that lasted for years, years, and years. They built this country on working our people to produce the cotton, and the cotton made the United States a lots of money. I mean, a lots of money. It made them a lots of money. Built this enterprise up that we see now that they call the United States. So, and so the fairness has not been any place, anywhere, anytime. People get all bent out of shape when people don't stand for the national anthem. Well, it's a joke and it's hypocritical, because the very words that you say and talk about in the national anthem, you don't do. You don't practice. It's just words. They don't have any grip to them. They don't have any meaning to them, because you got to say what you mean what you say, practice what you preach. And what we see in the national anthem is hypocritical. And all these people that get all bent out of shape by Kaepernick and other players and sports figures and people that don't stand and they kneel and protest, they're protesting and kneeling and not standing because what's being said is hypocritical, because once again you do not practice what you preach. And what's so hard about that? That's this diehard attachment that people have to America. Well, if you're going to have such a diehard and an attachment to America, then you first need to deal with the truth. Maintaining justice. That means you got to get rid of falsehood. You got to uproot falsehood. You got to uproot wickedness and all that stuff to get rid of it, to get to the truth. And if you're going to establish the truth, falsehood and truth cannot occupy the same place at the same time. It takes me into another area, another subject. And this is a question that I have for all of you who may catch this. Isn't it real interesting? Just a question. Isn't it real interesting? All of a sudden now, there's a resurfacing of these videos and information about the murder of George Floyd. I still call it murder because that's what it is. Not a killing, it's a murder. All of a sudden, now there's an upsurge of all these documents, all the videos, all this stuff that's coming out by George Floyd. All of a sudden it's coming out. And the whole idea is to defame his character, to defame the murder, those corrupt police officers, and what happened and what they did is to blindside you with that. Don't you realize and don't you understand they've had enough time to go back and with the technology they have today, they can easily put a video together. They can edit it. They can take out certain things. They can add certain things and put it any way they want to. But to make these dirty cops look like what they did was all right, make it look like they did was okay by murdering George Floyd. And the cry and the outrage should continue to be there, because this is where the crookedness, this is where the evil wickedness goes on and takes place. This is it. See, this is at the height of the wickedness and crookedness. This is why the uproot of wickedness, the uprooting of disbelief, the uprooting of falsehood has to be misspelled in this situation. And so all they're trying to do, trust me, all they're trying to do is cover the dirty tracks that these corrupt police officers have laid down, not only in Minnesota, but across the country. They're just trying to cover their tracks. And this is what they do. See, and the media helps do that. And they've had enough time to put together a sound video to dispel actually what happened. Just like they did with the brother that got murdered in Georgia, the same thing. And all of this is to defame the charges that's against these corrupt cops. That's all it is defame the charges, is to make the prosecutor in these different states not want to prosecute them because it's to discredit what happened. We know that these dirty, crooked cops murdered George Floyd. We know that. And people should continue the protest, the demonstration, the outrage, going to their house, taking it to their house. See? Taking it to the prosecution's office. Taking it to where he stays. All of them, she stays, whatever it is. Continue to keep the outrage up, because this is nothing more than a way to discredit the whole George Floyd murder. That's all this is, y'all. When we talk about maintaining justice, see, you can't maintain justice with crookedness. You can't maintain justice with no lie. You can't maintain justice with no cover-up or none of that. And that's all this is. That's all it is, straight out. See, and we ought to keep our eyes focused on the fact this is a straight-up cover-up by these crooked cops, the crooked system that we live under, to cover George Floyd's murder up, to make it seem like, make it come off like, present to the public light, well, if this brother hadn't been doing this, if he hadn't been doing that. And then they, like I said, they can edit sound voices, they can edit sound bites to it, they can present that any kind of way they want to, because they've had enough time to go back and do all of that. So once again, this is Brother Jamal, my YouTube channel. No justice, no peace, forward together, backwards never.